Tourism. This is the 5th class of Travel and Tourism, which is being taken by myself. I am Nazneen, and today for the class we will be focusing on destinations. So, before we start with the lesson, just mark your attendance. So, use this QR code or the link which is shared here to mark your attendance. So, before we move on with the lesson, first let us recall the lessons that we have taken before. So, in the first lessons we have studied about the impacts of travel and tourism, and then in the previous lesson we discussed about how the government plays a major role in developing the tourism sector of the country. And today we are starting with a new unit, that is unit 2 of travel and tourism, where you will be studying about the destination and features of worldwide destinations. So, for today's lesson we will be focusing on the characteristics of destinations and the reasons why a specific destination becomes a successful tourist destination. So, first look at the definition of destination. A destination is the ending point of a journey, or a tourist destination can refer to a place which they are visiting. So, basically the specific destination, the term which is being used here, or the area that we are studying here, is related to specific countries or areas where people are visiting, or final places where they are visiting. These are the specific characteristics of destination or nature of destination, that is destinations are perishable, it is of multiple use, and cultural appraisal. So, first in the characteristics we would be looking at the first area or the first character, that is perishable. So, perishability means that something is fragile. So, it does not mean that like other consumer items that we use in our daily lives, or commodities that we use, something is getting rotten or damaged and we cannot, any other person cannot use it after one person uses it. So, but the main reason why a destination is referred to as a perishable one, because it is fragile. So, the destination can be said as perishable because of its natural environment. So, for an example, countries like Maldives is considered to be perishable because of its fragile nature, like how I said before. So, there are certain actions which the people in these countries do take in order to sustain the place for a long period of time. So, while we studied the impacts of travel and tourism, there was a major focus on how specific destinations are being sustained for a longer period of time. And then multiple use. So, any destination is of multiple use. So, this characteristic specifically defines that as the same place is used for different purposes by different groups of people for different reasons, or places in a destination can be said to have multiple use. So, for an example, a mosque, for an example, here in Maldives, a mosque will be used by locals to go there and do their daily prayers. But on the other hand, there will be a lot of visitors who might be visiting to those areas just to take photos. So, people do get excited to see the things which they do, where they are unable to see, or which they do not see in their normal common or local areas. So, for an example, even you students would be quite curious to see what's inside a place, what's inside a temple, or any other area where you don't, or any other place where you don't see it regularly, oftenly. So, specific places like church, so Christians might be going there for doing their prayers, but visitors who visit there, or tourists, might be just going there to visit the place and take photos. Okay, moving forward, cultural appraisal means like any destination or any country will be having a specific culture or tradition which is associated with the place. So, a culture of a destination can affect tourism in a particular destination. The appraisal of the culture of a destination can determine whether the culture is strong or weak, or whether the culture can be considered as an attraction by the tourists. So, there are some places where they have a very strong culture, and it does anything which is it includes the heritage, it includes the behaviors of people, or the ways of life, or the way they dress, or the cultural items or things associated with their daily life. So, there are some countries which are specifically specialized in cultural tourism. So, today in our video also I would be focusing on a certain area which is related to culture and showing you a video related to that. So, the cultural appraisal is how the destination is taking the advantage of the culture, the heritage and tradition which is available in the country. So, this is also as one of the characteristics of places or destinations. And now we move on with the factors that make destination successful. So, these factors which is being mentioned here are the major reasons or the major factors why a place might be becoming a successful tourist. So, if for an example, if one area of this is missing, it would be not easy for that specific destination to reach to a certain level. So, before we move on with this, it's good that you people have an idea of, for an example, like for what area or for what are we referring to, or which countries would be identified as successful tourist destinations. So, successful tourist destinations could be those countries where they do have an increased number of tourist visitors in the place. So, that would only be possible if these certain factors are available at that place. So, that is the main focus that we are putting here. Among the factors, the first one is attractions. So, in attractions, this is one component that you have studied in the first unit. So, attractions and location and the support facilities which are available there, and organization and safety. So, in the following slides, we would be going in detail about these areas and studying it a little bit further. Okay, so first factor that makes a destination successful is the attraction. So, this is something that you have studied even earlier, that is when you studied about the major components, or in the unit 1, this was one area of study about attractions. So, attractions are the main principal appeal of any place. So, some attractions which are available in the place, so which includes natural attractions and even man-made attractions. So, some examples of some natural attractions have been shown here. So, like how you see over here, this is a man-made attraction that is being historically related. So, this is of pyramids in Egypt, and this is about wildlife area or footwear in jungle where you could see 2 giraffes. So, there are natural attractions in places and even man-made attractions which creates the principal appeal of the place. So, some countries do have a site attraction where a specific destination itself could be regarded as an attraction, just like Maldives. We do have lots of natural islands which is quite unique with white sandy beaches, and any other area. For an example, we could even see countries like India or even Australia, where we do have lots of natural resources as well as well developed infrastructure in the place, which attracts a lot of tourists to the place. So, moving forward, the next area is location. So, location is also a very important factor which influences or which makes the destination a successful tourist destination. So, for an example, there are certain factors which should be considered related to location. So, a location is, we could say that, for an example, also the areas which you see here, the global position of the country. So, global position means the natural position of the place in the country. So, it is not possible for any country to change its position. So, the local position also becomes a factor of how it becomes successful. The global position of the country refers to the actual situation of the country or the city in relevance to the rest of the world. So, there are some countries which are in prime locations where easy connections could be done with the countries which are nearby. So, for an example, countries like Dubai or countries like Singapore. So, these are countries which is in prime location. So, if you look at the map or currently, you could even you could very easily identify that these specific countries which I mentioned just now, like Dubai and Singapore, are in some central locations. So, which easily connects with the other countries which is there nearby. So, this is also one factor that makes it easy for them to develop, but just the location factor as it is does not make any destination successful. There should be some other factors which should be developed in the area, like I have told you, right. So, moving forward, the climate, this is also something which is related to the topic area, to the location of the place. So, the climate of the destination is general condition in any area in terms of temperature, humidity and rainfall. So, for an example, here in Maldives, a lot of visitors do come here because we have a very warm environment over here. It's not extremely hot like some places like Dubai. During summer, it's very hot. Even in European countries, it's quite hot during summer. But here in Maldives, since it is in the equatorial zone, we do have a very warm environment throughout the year, and we do not even have such heavy rainfall like there is in some tropical zones. So, the temperature, the humidity in the place and even the rate of rainfall also depends on the location. So, the climate is also a factor which makes the destination a successful tourist destination. And then the next area is accessibility. So, accessibility means like how easy it is for a person to reach there. So, for an example, the customers or the visitors who want to visit the place, even if they don't find that specific area which they want to reach easily accessible, they would not be visiting there, they would be surely finding difficulties in visiting there. So, let us say for an example, in Maldives, when tourism was first developed here, there was just the international airport which is there in Male. So, that was the main reason that the tourism is not, or the tourist resort has, or facilities or tourist facilities has not been increased so much in other areas of the country. So, here we have more number of resorts in Male area, or the capital area Male, or Kaf Atoll and even Alif Atoll, which is near to Kaf Atoll. So, since it was not easily accessible, people were not traveling to other islands. So, for an example, even now we do have a lot of visitors visiting the area of Bai Atoll. So, there are a lot of beautiful biosphere reserves, and certain areas of ecotourism is also highly developed at those regions now. But if you compare to the previous years, it was not easily accessible. There was also one reason why some tourist facilities are not so high in some zones of the country. So, accessibility plays a major role in creating successful tourist destinations. Okay, so now we come to the next area, that is support facilities. So, support facilities are those facilities which are provided or available at a place which makes the stay of any person more convenient. So, this is also one reason why people do visit a place. So, when they do have a conveniency in traveling, they would be preferring to visit such places. So, for an example, the infrastructure which is available there. So, for an example, we could say about convention centers or business centers where business conferences or things could be held, and whereas other facilities like the transportation, and well as good communication facilities which is developed at a place, like better internet which is provided at a place. So, when there is better communication there, that also helps in having good connections with people which are there in different countries. So, it even helps to promote the tourism sector as well. The next area is accommodations. So accommodation was also something that you have studied in the first unit. So it is also one of the major components of travel and tourism. So this is a facility for a person to stay at a place. So when these facilities are provided, so it should be for people of different levels. Not everybody could go to Dubai and stay at Burj Al Arab. So there are some luxury hotels or luxury places like those Burj Al Arab even in Dubai, where it is a 7-star hotel, and as well as there are accommodation facilities provided for people of some lower disposable, for people with lower disposable income as well. So these standardized places do play a major role in attracting visitors to the place, and on the other hand, these accommodation facilities should provide ways in which it could reach with the people who are in different places. So for an example, they should connect with tour operators or travel agents, and as well as better facilities where even people could book or do reservations even online. So facilities should be well developed at these accommodation centers for it to become a successful tourist destination. And then tour operators and travel agencies, like how I have told you just now, these tour operators and travel agencies help in bringing people. So they do even have a major focus in promoting the destination. So when any country is having a well developed tourism sector in the country, even these tour operators do play a major role in creating or bringing in tourists to the place. So there are a lot of international tour operators who are also, so this does not only mean that in the tourism industry people would be only contacting with local tour operators or local travel agencies. A lot of tourism facilities do even contact international tour agencies or travel agencies, where they contact these travel agencies in order to create or get the market which is available in some country else, so or some other country. Like for an example, like in Germany, there might be a travel agent in Germany, so a resort or facility here in Maldives, if they contact those travel agents or tour operators in Germany, they would be finding markets in that area in Germany. So this is the main reason why such support facilities should be developed in order to increase the visitors and create a successful tourist destination. And then organizations. So organizations are those organizations which are formed in any country to develop and promote the tourism sector along with the government which is there. So Maldives Tourism and Promotion Board, MTPB, is the National Tourism Organization of Maldives. So just like how you see over here, the Department of Tourism and Commerce Marketing is the NTO for Dubai. So they do create different kinds of slogans and try to develop the tourism sector of the country. So for an example, in Dubai, they use "Definitely Dubai" as a slogan. I hope you all know the brand slogan of Maldives, that is Maldives, the sunny side of life. So so organizations is also one major factor that creates a successful tourism. So this is also one major factor that fosters in creating a successful tourist destination. So it can help the destination to become a success, as it helps to promote the particular destination by advertising and thereby helping to create that image. So brand image is being created, or there are certain ways in which these promotions are being conducted. So these NTOs do participate in a lot of exhibitions or trade fairs and try to increase the number of visitors to the place. So worldwide or globally, there is better customer awareness that is created. So having a very well enthusiastic workforce in the place and with good connections with the government, if these NTOs work well, it creates a very good successful tourist destination. And then the last point that we would be discussing here is safety. So this is also one major factor which influences the destination to become a successful tourist destination. So, if we look into countries like or places like Kashmir, so where they do have a lot of beautiful natural resources, but on the other hand, because of the conflicts which is there between the two countries like India and Pakistan, it has not, I mean, it has affected a lot in developing the tourism in that area. So, if the destination has a civil or political conflict, or whether there was a natural disaster such as desert storms, earthquakes, hurricanes. So for an example, when we had the issue of tsunami, that was also something which was totally unpredicted, but because of that also safety issues comes even now, because we do have the fear of getting a disease. So there is an outbreak of a disease now, right? So because of coronavirus, almost all the places are also locked down, and even before the lockdown, a lot of people were hesitating to travel. That was because of the safety issue. So, but other than that, even though some incidences do happen for a certain period of time, even after that, a lot of people do hesitate in traveling to places, or it also affects the number of visitors or visitor arrivals in a country. And on the other hand, there are some places where they have a continued conflict which is prevailing at the place, which actually influences highly on increase in the number of visitors in the place. So, a very good example is the country Sri Lanka, where they had a lot of political issues before, but after their war was being over, I think that was just around a few years back. So, when after that, a lot of infrastructural developments came, and a lot of restrictions were being taken, which was there to protect the country for the security reasons. So, for that, now the country after the war ended, between the Tamil Tigers and the government, after the war was ended between those Tamil Tigers and the government, there was a sudden boost in increase in the number of visitors there. So, safety is also a major role, safety plays a major role in increasing the tourist visitors in any country. Okay, so that's it for today's lesson. Please use this QR code and the link which is shared here to mark your attendance. In the next class, we will be focusing on the features of worldwide destinations, and before that we will be even learning about the factors that makes it or the reasons why people travel to certain destinations. Assalamu alaikum and thank you.